Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Wellness newsletter that I put out every week. I am Laurel Kelsey. I am a functional nutritionist and an exercise physiologist. And have a life mission of helping those who are dealing with chronic health symptoms to finally get their life back, to identify some of the root causes, what's going on, what's in your control that you can take back, and how can we keep the threats low in the body so that the body can try to heal itself. So today, what I wanted to talk about was a topic that I think a lot of us are interested in. I know a lot of my clients that I work with, this is one of the things they come with, is coming to me with the question, how do I balance my hormones? My hormones are all off, all over the place, maybe on hormone replacement therapy, and not having much success with feeling very good still. And so what I wanted to teach you is an idea that when I learned it when I was going to school was revolutionary for me in understanding what was going on. Because I personally have a thyroid hormone problem. And so when I learned what I'm about to teach you, it had really shifted the way that I have been able to address my health, all the way to the point where now I am not even on any medication at the moment. So that is really fabulous. So what I want you to do is you can pull out a piece of paper if you want, if that helps you to visualize better. If you're not driving or anything, please stay safe. And I want you to draw a big triangle. And on the triangle, I want you to make 3 lines so it is broken into 4 categories. On the very bottom of your triangle, I want you to write blood sugar balance and digestive health. And the next level up, I want you to write cortisol balance, or cortisol, you could just write cortisol. The next level up, thyroid. And then above that, your hormones, your sex hormones like estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. So here is the idea that I was just blown away with, and it makes so much sense the moment that I learned it. So we can use my situation. I have thyroid hormone problems, and the way that my medical doctor has been trying to approach it is giving me thyroid hormone. However, what I actually have is Hashimoto's. So my blood labs, they don't really show that there's much problem with the hormone itself, but just a lot of thyroid issues going on. So that made me start thinking I need to understand what's going on better. And so this is really exciting when I started to learn about it when I went to functional nutrition school. So at the bottom of your pyramid is everything stacks on top of on top of each other. So if you want to address your thyroid hormones, you have to go upstream to balancing your cortisol, and then even more important, all the way down at the bottom is balancing your blood sugar and digestive integrity, digestive health. So let's think about why this is so important. If we are worried about our hormones being balanced, why do we come all the way back to blood sugar balance and to digestive health? If you do not have good digestive health, not having good bowel movement patterns every day, your body is struggling to get rid of the excess hormones that it doesn't use up during the day. So that's one really important thing. So of course, and this is something I work with my clients on all the time, is let's make sure that we get the bowel moving, get rid of constipation. Sometimes diarrhea can actually be a sign of constipation. So we want to really clean up the digestive tract, get the microbiome really balanced, make sure that we're digesting food at the stomach level. And when the digestive tract is all on par, no leaky gut ever, or at least working on trying to improve leaky gut, then the body starts to have an improved ability to uptake the nutrients coming in from our food. So if we don't have good digestive health, then even if we're eating great food, super, super clean, no seed oils, all organic, cleaning our food really well, highest quality meat, all of those things are in place, but our body doesn't have the ability to break down and process and uptake the nutrients coming from the food, then it doesn't really matter what we're eating. And we just bog down the digestive system. And when the digestive system is always trying to work on things, we only have so much blood circulating through our body all the time. So if you want if you want your body working hard on trying to break things down all the time, then that's one thing, but that's not what we really want. We want the blood delivering to the muscles and to the brain that can help, for example, potentially decreasing brain fog, having cognitive clarity, being able to think better. And so we get our digestive system balanced. We start eating in a way that gets our blood sugar balanced. So the easiest tip, if you take nothing else away from today, what I would love for you to take away is when you're eating, having your meals spaced pretty evenly throughout the day, that you always are eating protein, healthy fat, and some type of fiber in every single meal. So fiber is going to be like your vegetables and your fruits. Okay. And so we want to focus on that to avoid major spikes in either up or blood sugar drops. And as much as possible, starting to crowd out processed food, the really heavy processed oils. What else do we want to crowd out? Sugars. Okay, but all the refined sugars. So crowding out processed food by bringing in proteins, healthy fats, and the fibers. Every piece of nutrients has a specific purpose. The proteins are what break down to amino acids. They're going to help us build our muscles and our cells. They're the building blocks of our bodies. So if we want to be able to build anything in our body like good hormones, then we have to have the building blocks. So we need our protein, we need the healthy fat. The healthy fat is every cell is surrounded by a fat layer or a lipid layer. And so if we're not eating the good healthy fats that our bodies need, like avocados, coconut oil, then we are not giving the body what it needs. So one, we have to give the body what it needs, but we also have to help the body be able to uptake what it is. So let's say that we get everything on track down there, and that's great. The next step up the pyramid before we can ever get to estrogen or progesterone or testosterone is then we have to look at the cortisol hormone. And so what really impacts the cortisol hormone, and to be honest, the digestive health, also what's going on in the gut, prolonged stress is really, really dangerous for our cortisol levels, for our cortisol hormone. When we're under prolonged stress, we have increased cortisol and increased adrenaline chronically, meaning all of the time. And this stress could come from any type of event, for example, like a wedding that you're planning for a long time. Maybe you're going to school and trying to balance school and work and taking care of a family. Perhaps you have somebody that you're taking care of all the time that has a chronic illness that is really asks a lot of you. That's a chronic situation. And then maybe even more common is, instead of these bigger events where we're having a lot of stress, and maybe one more event that I want to bring up is perhaps like a relationship discrepancy or trouble in a relationship, or maybe there's a divorce, or something like problems between a child and a parent. Anything that is disrupting your life, and that is asking a lot of you, can increase this cortisol and your adrenaline long term, chronically, and that's very dangerous for your body to have to process all of that all of the time. Something else is just staying so busy. When you're so busy all the time, then you again are, instead of giving yourself time to come back and relax and come out of fight or flight, where your body's at this high level of push and push and push. If you don't know how to regulate your nervous system to be able to come down, and we do want it to spike because it helps us to get things done, and so we kind of can ebb and flow. But the problem is if we get stuck up in a nervous system that is dysregulated, where we can't come back down to feeling calm, then that's a problem that needs to be addressed. So you can see how we're not even made it up to the top of the pyramid yet, and there's so much that we can work on when we're looking at hormones. So we can get blood sugar balance, we start to manage our stress better. Maybe we should even talk about for a moment what What are some things that could be happening in the body that could be a sign that perhaps there's a lot of stress that you're dealing with in your life in some way, whether that's some big chronic event that you have to take care of, or if just too busy. But if you start to have poor gut health, if you are having noticeably weird changes in your weight one way or the other, starting to have lots of mental health problems and anxiety, depression, feeling like you have ADHD, your brain fog is kind of all over the place. Maybe you have achy joints. You could feel inflamed all the time, or even feeling puffy. You might get sick really easily and often, so that's a good clue for us. You could, let's see what else. Your periods, your menstrual cycles could be either really painful or maybe very irregular, so that's a good sign. Your libido being low. Another one could be not sleeping very well. Okay, there's so many things. Hair falling out. There's a lot of things that can be a red flag that there's too much stress in your body and the body's trying to manage it, but it gives out at some point. And this kind of goes back to the idea of managing your threat bucket, which I talked about in a different episode. So feel free to go back and catch that. So now that we have fixed but we have addressed the blood sugar balance and the cortisol, then we can go up and start to support the thyroid more with foods that are very supportive to the thyroid, and continuing again to get enough sleep, managing the stress levels. It has such a high impact on the thyroid, and then it just trickles up to those hormones at the top. So I hope that this is really helpful for you as you start to think about, okay, I feel like maybe my hormones are off, and to not just feel like the only option is to run off and go get on hormone replacement therapy. Sometimes it's needed, but sometimes it's just our lifestyle and how we are managing our stress and the foods we're eating and how we're eating that can completely shift the trajectory of how you're feeling. And that is what I have many clients that I work on with that. And we start there with the Premier case study. It's really hard to make a suggestion for someone about what to do until we know your whole case and what it's looking like. So definitely, if that's something that you want to look at as really wanting to feel good as you move into the holidays and into the new year, then that might be something that you want to look at connecting with me or connecting with another practitioner that can help to look functionally at all of your systems together and see you as a whole person. That's really important. So one other thing that I forgot to say at the beginning, but if you don't have it already, as we're talking about managing stress so much today as part of balancing our hormones, if you don't have my free ebook yet, then make sure to go grab my free ebook. It's just my top 10 recommendations for how to decrease stress in your life and improve your mental health. So important when we're talking about balancing hormones, and I want you to start taking a broader perspective on what you have control over, so that there's lots of things out of our control, but we have so much in our control that can help move us forward and chase those feelings of high energy and having the bodies back that we want and feeling good here, being able to have fun in life and enjoy the things that we want to do as we start to eliminate some of the symptoms that can come along with a chronic illness or chronic health conditions. So I am here for you. I am so happy that I have the privilege to educate you a little bit each week, and I hope that I will see you again next week. If this was helpful to you at all, or you think it might be helpful for someone else, I would love for you to send it along to someone else. We just have to work together to get the information out to people so that we can start feeling better. We have to work together as a community to improve the health of the world, of our families and our nation, and we can do it together. And if you need help, private help, feel free to reach out. I'll drop some links down in the description so that you can connect with me if you want to. All right, have a great week.